smart ladies. Hi, Tina as well. I got your message, but you're here. So technology avails us. So let's start with, let me get my pads out of the way. Feet hip width apart. So this is going to be a really nice class, or this is going to be stretches you can do like before a workout, after workout, first thing in the morning, just to kind of get the body moving in all directions. So pop your band to one side because we will grab it in a second. And you're going to have your feet hip width apart. We're going to lift our toes up off the mat, spread them wide, and press the pads of the toes into the floor. So you can do that just a couple times. And we want to feel that the arches lift, and then we ground our feet into the floor, okay? So once the feet have been grounded into the mat, I want you to just very gently bend and stretch the knees. You can even give the arms like a little swing, just to make sure there's no tension in our hands. That tends to creep up. And then we gently bring ourselves to stillness. You can put your hands on the waist and you're going to tilt the pelvis forward and back. So quite exaggerated to start, just to really get the hips moving. And also to help us think about where we want to have that pelvis placement. It wants to be in our neutral, which we know for everybody is slightly different, but it wants to be about halfway between those two exaggerated points. Imagine 3 circles. You've got your hips, your ribs, your shoulders, and your collarbone, and they all are floating one on top of the other. And then you can just relax the hands. If you want to, you can close your eyes, and I want you to take some nice deep inhales through the nose, and then exhale through the mouth. Now, as you inhale, I want you to imagine the ribs swinging open. And as you exhale, I want you to imagine that your waist narrows and your abdominals gently contract. So you've got that big breath in, ribs swinging open. Exhale, waist narrows, abdominals contract. Good. Last one here. Big breath in. And then exhale. And then from there, we're going to open the eyes. And we're just going to turn the head from right to left. So just getting a little bit of movement through the head and neck, okay? So this is really nice, these sort of things, first thing in the morning or maybe after a long day's work. And then we're going to finish with our head to center. You're then going to place one hand on top of the other, kind of like a genie, and you want to have them just below the shoulders. So you kind of pull your shoulder blades down, tuck them into the back pockets of your shorts. You're going to take your elbows over to the left, but you're going to turn your head to the right. And then you're going to come back through center. So you bring the head and arms back to center, and then you switch. So elbows go to the right, head turns to the left. So what you want to feel is that as the elbows reach and the head turns, we get this lovely stretch down the side of the neck. Now, how high you have your arms is going to be dependent on where you feel that stretch. So don't feel like you have to have it exactly where out. Maybe you'll feel a bit better if it's lower. But what we do want to think about is that the shoulders stay down and everything stays facing the front. So you notice my body isn't turning. I keep everything square to the front. And we're going to finish our last one off on each side. So hopefully that neck feels lovely and loose. And then you let the hands go. Lift the shoulders up by the ears. Exhale, drop them down the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. And it's like someone kind of picks you up on a string and then cuts it. 2 more, lift, drop, last one, and drop. From there, we roll our shoulders back. And I want you to open up your rib cage here and just get your arms and upper body moving. Exactly, nice, ladies. And then from there, we're going to place our hands onto our shoulders, and then we're going to roll the elbows back. So this gives us a little bit more range of motion. Think of it coming past the ears to stretch the tricep and back. 2 more. Good, last one. And then you're going to let go of your shoulders, lift your arms. Think of lifting your chest here and circling around and come down. So a simple movement, but lots of positive things, especially lifting the chest takes that spine into a slight extension, which helps us to lift and elevate our posture. You are going to finish your last one with those hands up towards the sky, and you're going to do a little side reach. So you're going to touch the ceiling with the right hand, touch the ceiling with the left hand. Now, depending on where you are with your body, you can add a slight lean, okay? If you don't feel comfortable with those side bending moments, you can just stay upright. But the sensation is the stretch from fingertips to hip, right? Good. Everyone's going to give me 1 more in each direction. Fantastic. And then we're going to interlace the fingers, take the hands behind the head, and I want you to kind of cup your head. Now imagine pulling your head up out of your head and shoulders. Press the head into the hands and pull the shoulder blade down the back. You'll feel that position makes you feel really straight along the spine, okay? We're going to keep our hips to the front, and we're just very gently going to rotate our rib cage to the right, and then we're going to come back through center, and then we go to the left. So by keeping the head pressed into the hands, we keep that elongation through the back. And as we twist, we're not going to end range, so we're not twisting the furthest we can go, we're not bending in different directions, we're moving in one plane of motion. And the sensation is like you lift and rotate, kind of like a corkscrew, you know, when you pull it out, you have to twist and lift it up. And it's the same thing, we want to feel long and strong and lift out of that rib cage, or out of that waistline. You're going to finish your last one to the left and then bring yourself to center, and then you're just going to relax everything down. So we're going to grab hold of our band, and we're going to do a couple of exercises to open the chest and the shoulders. So you're going to take your band and place it behind your back, roughly just underneath your shoulder blades. And you can see I've got my band quite thick, right? Quite thick across the back. Now, you have the choice here. You can wrap your band around your hand like this, or I just prefer to hold it between my thumb and forefinger. Can you see? So that it's easy to kind of maneuver. Exactly. Now we're going to start with a little exercise to rotate the shoulder and open the chest. So you're going to keep your elbows kind of tucked into the front pockets of your leggings, or your rib cage, I should say. And then you're going to open your hands to the back of the room, but I want you to think of pressing your elbows forward and lifting your chest. So you can see my elbows stay where they are, my hands reach forward, and then you're just going to bring them back. This is going to give you a big rotation through the shoulder blade, but really what we want it to feel is that it opens our collarbones. So hands back, elbows forward, collarbones wide. Yes, ladies, and back. So great posture exercise. Now, one thing that will want to happen is you'll want to kind of extend and flare your rib cage. And I want you to see if you can keep those ribs nice and soft as we do this. So the movement kind of happens from here. Nice. We're going to do 2 more here. Just nice, gentle breaths. Good. Keep reaching those hands and elbows forward. And we're going to hold it here. Now from there, palms are going to go up towards the ceiling. You're going to stretch the band out as much as you can, and you can lift your chest. So you're going to imagine kind of arching up and over the back of those shoulder blades, and then you're going to pull the elbows in and kind of resist the band. So resist, resist, resist. And then we're going to go again. We reach the band out. Lift, imagine we're arching up and over the back of that band, and then we pull the elbows back in. So we've got this resistance, right? We are resisting that band on the way out and resisting it on the way in. And the feeling wants to be that we're as wide as possible. If you find that it's not comfortable on your neck, just send the gaze. Eyes kind of want to go up on that slight diagonal, that eye line. So I'm not really lifting my head super high, but just enough to kind of elevate and tell my spine where I want it to go. Right, where the eyes go, the spine will naturally follow, okay? You're going to finish your last ones here, and I want you to make it as big and as beautiful as possible. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Open that chest, take a nice deep breath in, and then slowly pull the band back. Now from there, you are going to have your hands out in front, like you're going to push something, and I want you to push the hands forward, and then pull the elbows back. So it's like you're pushing against an imaginary wall, right? Now, often what will happen when you want to do this is the back will want to round and the shoulders will want to round. So you've got to imagine that as you press the band forward, that the collarbones and the shoulders kind of open and press back. So you've got this lovely resistance. And we're just going to do 3 more here. So we press forward. If you've got a heavy resistance band, it's a really great way to just start to work the chest and the front of the shoulder too. Good. We're going to finish our last one here. Beautiful. So now we're going to combine those 2 exercises. We are going to keep our chest and collarbones open. We're going to press the band forward. You're then going to breathe in and open the chest and just find that lovely stretch. You bring the hands back in front and then you pull the elbows in, resisting. You're just going to give me 3 more there. So we push, big breath in, open, lift out of your waist. Good. Pull in and close. You've got 2 more here, ladies. Pressing out. Big breath in, open. Lovely. Pull it back in and close. Last one here. Pressing out and then just big breath. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. Come all the way back and then pull those elbows in. Now, we're going to keep our band behind us, but this time you're going to hold on to your band. So I've got my palms, you can see. Sorry, you see my close up of my bum. I've got my hands facing the back of the room, and my band ends up wherever the length of my arms are. So for me, it kind of goes right under my bottom. Now, this is a really great one to open our chest, okay? So what I want you to do, I'm going to do it facing the back, is I want you to roll your shoulder blades together. Can you see how that kind of already works my arm? I then want you to see if you can pull your band out and lift it up, keeping that chest open and those shoulder blades together, and then very gently release the band and relax, right? So the first thing we do is roll our shoulder blades together, feel them connect. Now pull the band open and reach it back. Now don't let that spine drop forward. Send your eye line up slightly, just so we tell our brain where we want that spine to go. We bring the band down and we relax. You're just going to do 2 more here. Roll those shoulder blades together. Now pull the band out, stretch, lift that chest, find that opening. Eyes up, eyes up. Good, and down. Nice, ladies. Last one here. Roll those shoulder blades together. Pull open that band, stretch, lift. Now take a big inhale here. Big exhale. And relax. Brilliant. Final exercise. This time I do want you to wrap the band around. Now, you don't want to have too much tension on it, but you can see I can kind of like give it a little wiggle around. Now, this is just to do our shoulders and keep that chest work going. So we're just going to circle our band around our head, right? I'm trying to keep my arms as straight as possible. My pelvis stays in that nice neutral position, but my upper back moves a little bit, and that's okay. What we want to do is create movement. Now, why are we spending so much time talking about posture? Because if we're sat for long periods of time, if you've got a job where you're not maybe as mobile, if maybe you've had shoulder issues or back issues, the chest gets very, very tight. You know, we're in these positions and it's natural for this to tighten. So these exercises are super simple. You know, a resistance band, you can kind of like shove it anywhere. It's a great thing to have handy. Or of course, there's other options too, as Miranda's demonstrated. Our last one with our band up over our head. And then I want you to just very gently take the band as far back behind you until you feel a big stretch across your chest. Yeah? So it's going to be different for everyone. And what you want to feel is it's going to feel from the shoulder and it's going to run across to the center of the breastbone. So that's our pecs, right? We're aiming to stretch out those pecs. Now, aim to try and keep that eye line up as well. That's also going to increase the stretch. And you're just going to take 3 deep breaths here. Into the tight space, exhale. Try and let that muscle relax. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. So you want to really focus that breath into your tight space in the chest. And then big exhale, relax. And you can just bring that band forward nice and gently and give those shoulders a little wiggle. Nice work, guys. So let's come on to our back. The next thing that we're going to stretch is going to be our hamstrings and our glutes. So for this, ladies, if you want to have a cushion underneath your head to support yourself, then you can. It's a nice and relaxed exercise. Now, hamstrings get super, super tight. Quads in the front and hamstrings in the back. And often if the hamstring is tight, it can like pull on the glute, or it can have a feeling that the lower back gets tight. So having flexy hamstrings is always a positive thing. So you're going to cross your right ankle over your left knee, and you take your band and you get it as thick as you can. So you want the band nice and wide, and you want to place it across the ball of the foot. Yeah. So take your time getting in there, ladies. Now, two options. Your supporting leg, so the leg that's not in the band, you can have it bent, and this is a great option if you've got a lot of tightness there. If you've got a little bit more flexibility in your leg, you can straighten your supporting leg. Now, what is most important when you do any of these stretches is that your tailbone stays down on the mat. It's very easy to pull the leg and lift the tailbone. And actually what we're doing there is just compensating. Feels like we're getting a bigger stretch than we are because we're lifting our bum. So I want you to press your tailbone into the carriage. Into the mat. Whoop, been teaching too much equipment today. So from there, you're going to flex your foot and then you're going to point it. Easy peasy, flex and point. So this is a really great way to just stretch those calves, right? So if you walk a lot, if you run a lot, if you're on your feet all day or moving around a lot, then calves tend to get quite tight. So just having the leg in the air, flexing and pointing is great because all the blood drains away from it. So it's a really nice opportunity to stretch it. You're then going to finish with the foot flexed. And you're going to straighten the back of that knee as much as you can. Get that leg as straight as you can. Yes, yes, guys. You're then going to pull the leg towards you, keeping your tailbone down until you get to a really uncomfortable spot. And that's the best way to say it. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. In through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more. Now, the reason you need to take these nice deep breaths is because that muscle and your nervous system needs that second to be able to respond, right? We breathe to release, to relax the muscle. Now, keeping your foot in the band, just take the tension away a second. So kind of just take the stretch, yourself out the stretch. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Leg is as straight as you can get it, foot is flexed. You bring that leg as close to you as you can. Maybe it's a little bit closer than it was before. You should feel uncomfortable. You take those 3 deep breaths there. Back of the leg is as straight as you can get it. 2 more. Last one. Nice. And then just gently release. Now, we are going to stretch the side of the leg. Okay? So you're going to take both ends of your band into your right hand. Okay? So same arm as leg. And everybody straighten your supporting leg, so it's going to be flat on the mat. You're then going to draw your leg across your body. So I'm using my other hand to kind of help. I draw it across my body, and then I think of pulling it up towards my left shoulder. You're going to feel a big, big stretch down the side of that leg. Now, if you're feeling it in the back of your leg, then you need to think about going across on a diagonal a bit more. And I want you to take nice deep breaths here. Now, it is important to stretch the side of the leg because obviously we have big, big nerves that run down the side. Your sciatic nerve, you've also got this nerves that run through your feet. Exactly. If you feel like, oh my God, then you're doing it right. Gently release the tension and bring the leg back through center. We're going to do that same thing again, same position, right? Foot is flexed. We draw the leg across the body and up towards the opposite shoulder, okay? You've also got your IT band, strip, big strip of muscle and cartilage that runs down the side of the leg. And if your top of your glute is very, very tight, this can feel tight too. So it's a really great way to just stretch those muscles that connect it. You're going to hold it 1 more second here, and then we're going to come back through center. Now you're going to take both ends of the band into 1 hand each, and you're just going to give me 3 big, beautiful leg circles, right? Don't worry about you know, usually we're worrying about keeping everything still. No, I want you to move the leg as much as you can, right? Let the weight of your leg be supported by the band. Good, ladies, and then reverse that circle in the other direction, right? So you're trying to just loosen through that hip joint, okay? Loosen through that hip flexor, through that groin. It's just a really nice stretch and should feel great afterwards. We're then gonna bring our leg back to center, and then you're gonna keep both feet, or put both feet in the band. Make sure your left foot is secure in the band before you take your right leg down towards the mat. Exactly. So from there, same thing, we start with our point and flex of the foot, point and flex. So this gives us that nice stretch through the calf. I'm going to come and watch this now. We all know what we're doing. Good, guys. Remembering that that tailbone stays anchored, and we want to try and keep the knee as straight as we can throughout these exercises, right? Good. So you're going to finish your last one with your foot flex, so your toes towards you. You are then going to straighten the knee as much as you can and pull the leg till it feels uncomfortable. Exactly. You take 3 nice deep breaths here. And remember, nice deep breaths. Okay? Body has to have that second to release, and breath, right? Every time you release, imagine that muscle lengthening. You're going to finish off that breath and then just gently release the leg, keep the foot in the band. And then we do the same thing. So straighten the knee as much as you can. Go on, Dimitrina. Yes. Now bring the leg towards you, just straight towards you until you feel that uncomfortable kind of feeling, and nice deep breaths. Good. So we need to just straight towards you to start, not across yet. That's it. That's it. You got it. Nice, guys. And then release. So we're going to do exactly the same thing before we do the across the body. So the leg's just coming straight towards you. That's it. Go on, Rachel. Straighten that knee a little bit more. More. Yes. So the whole point is we want that hamstring to be lengthened. So the knee has to be straight, right? The tailbone has to be down. Sometimes it feels like, oh, I could probably go further, but actually you're going to benefit more by making sure you got these little points in place. Okay. Gently release that tension, but keep your foot in the band. We're going across the body this time. Yeah. So you take both ends of the band into your left hand. You draw the leg across your body and up towards your right shoulder. So we're going on a diagonal. Now you'll know exactly if you're in the right place because it feels like, I don't want to say anything bad. You can feel it, right? It's not a horrible feeling. Sometimes it's a good feeling. And then we're gently going to just release the tension. We're going into that one more time. Okay. So little bit of tension release, then straighten the leg, lengthen behind the knee, draw it across your body and up towards that right shoulder. Good. So you should feel that big stretch right down the outside of the leg. Might feel it in the lower leg if you've got a bit of tightness, you know, through the shin. Might feel it in the upper leg and the hip. You're going to take one more nice deep breath here. Good. We're then going to bring the leg back to center. You're going to take both ends of the band in your hand, and I want you to just give me big leg circles and just let it go. Feel that hip, the leg feeling really loose in the socket, right? The hip wants to feel relaxed. You're using your arms, you know, to help you. Sometimes it helps to keep the elbows on the mat as you do it. It kind of can help to ground you, but you don't have to. Good. And then reverse those circles for me. Feeling that nice looseness in the hip. Good, guys. And go for it. Make it as big as you like. No rules. Do we ever say that in Pilates? Hardly ever. So we enjoy it for a second. Brilliant, ladies. So once you have finished, I want you to take that leg out of the band for me. I want you to hug those knees in towards your chest and just give yourself a little circle. You can either open both the knees at the same time and like create circles that way, or you can keep the knees together and circle them around, just to give our lower back a nice release. Good. And then we're gonna place our feet down, turn onto our side and push ourselves up. And we're gonna make our way up to standing. We finish with a tiny little bit of balance. So we are going to be stood when you're up and ready in our little Pilates V. So our heels together, toes apart, and our 50-pound note between our bottom cheeks, right? That helps to engage those muscles around the hips and the glutes. Find a focus on the wall in front of you and rise up onto your tiptoes and just hold your balance a second. And then very slowly sink the heels into the floor, but keep lifting through your waistline, up through the crown of that head. Good. And we go again. We lift up onto the tiptoes, we hold, and then we slowly lower back down. Good. Final one here. We rise up onto those tiptoes. This time we lift our hands up towards the ceiling. Now, only if you feel confident with your balance do I want you to try maybe just closing your eyes for a second. Can you hold that position as the eyes are closed? Can you open them? Press down hands, shoulders, and heels, and take a final breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. You ladies are all done. Well done, everyone.